later. So I think we're gonna get started here. So welcome to our very last before the primary straight talk with Stacy. I appreciate you joining us tonight. And tonight, our topic is going to be. I thought a lot about what I wanted to say on this Thursday before the primary on Tuesday, and tonight's topic is going to be why I believe that we need, not only in this race, but in all levels of government, that Kentucky and across our nation, that we need more political leaders, not politicians. And so we're going to talk tonight about why do people not trust politicians? Why is it, why has that become a dirty word? And what is the difference between someone who really doesn't want to be a politician, but who wants to be a leader and be a political leader? And that's going to be our topic tonight. Before that, I want to throw out a few thank yous. There have been so many people that have helped me along the way in this campaign and have encouraged me to get into this race, and then have been there every step of the way, supporting me up to this point. First, I want to say thank you to Danielle Heron. She is from Elizabethtown, and she reached out to me and spoke with me and gave me that encouragement to enter the race when I wasn't for sure if what it was going to be like, and how it was going to affect my family, and what kind of commitment it was going to be. And so Danielle was just amazing to help me get my campaign started and organized. Also, Beth Thorpe reached out to me once I filed, and she works with lots of campaigns across the state of Kentucky, and she again got me started, and also helped me get into some trainings about fundraising and organizing of my campaign, so that again we could run a successful campaign. I think everyone out there who's given me words of encouragement to join this race and then also to continue in this race, and friends, co-workers, family, people who've given to my campaign. And I especially want to say thank you to my campaign team. Could not have done it without them. They have made me a better candidate, and again have been there for me every step of the way. I want to say thank you to Casey Mattingly, who is my campaign manager, and you all met Casey on several of our beginning videos, and again just has been just in my corner from the very start. Also, Andrea and Dustin Bishop, who you have met on Straight Talk before, and they have been just amazing to bounce ideas off of, to help me with any kind of written text, to proofread, and anything that they put their hands to, they make it even better, and I appreciate them. I also have two teachers who have been there for me. Again, anything that I've needed, they are there, and you met one of those last week. That was Allison Dutez, and you're going to get to meet my last member of our campaign team, and that is Sherry Whitman, and she will be speaking with you guys tonight about voting. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, because again, I could not have done this on my own, and it has been a wonderful experience. And not that this is the end, because I feel very confident going into Tuesday, and I feel like this is just the beginning for this campaign. But I want to make sure, again, where credit is due, that I make sure I acknowledge people. So before I get to my part of the campaign of Straight Talk tonight, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Sherry Whitman, and she's going to talk about what are the ways to vote with these last few days leading up to the primary.
My first Facebook Live. Okay. Hey guys, I'm Sherry. And just to reiterate how you're going to vote, and if you want to vote early, you've got tomorrow and Monday in Meade County. You can go to the Meade County Clerk's office from 8 a.m. to 4:30, and you can call ahead, or you can just show up and you can vote at the Meade County Clerk, 8 to 4:30 tomorrow and Monday. Tuesday, the voting in Meade County is at Meade County High School from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you're in Hardin County, you can go to the Hardin County Clerk's office on Friday or Monday, 8 to 4:30, and you call when you get there, and they bring you your ballot. The number, if you're in Hardin County, 270-766-6762. So I'm going to say that again, 270-766-6762, and they will bring your ballot to you. And that's tomorrow or Monday, 8 to 4:30. And then Tuesday is the official voting day, and that is at the Hardin County Clerk, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So that's your voting options. We're on the home stretch here. And I just want to say a few words about why I am supporting Stacy. I've worked with Stacy on this campaign, and we canvassed for Andy. And I found Stacy to be, as we worked through the community and talked with people in the community, she was always willing to listen to anybody and their views very patiently. And she gives straight answers when you ask her a question, and she has reasons for those the viewpoints that she has, and she does not back down from a fight, and she is willing to stand up for the people in her community. And she is not a strictly party line kind of politician, and she wants to do best for the people that have put her in office. And I know that she's willing to work with people from the Democratic side or the Republican side. Okay, so I will put Stacy back on.
Thank you, Sherry, very much. We enjoyed having her. What has been one of the added benefits to having Straight Talk with Stacy and then having my team come each week is they come early, we have dinner, we get to visit, and Sherry also brought her daughter today. And so we had a really nice dinner and nice conversation, and we're probably going to keep them hostage after this and play some games and spend some time together. All right.
Don't throw me in the briar patch.
So to what I wanted to speak about tonight. And again, it was really hard to think about what I wanted to say because, you know, we've been talking now for weeks, and I feel like anyone who's been following me, they kind of know where I stand on most of the issues. And so I started thinking, and I thought, well, why do people not even like politics? Why do they not even get involved? And you know, I started thinking about a politician. What is it about politicians that we don't trust anymore that makes us not even want to be involved and exercise? A lot of people don't even think it's worth exercising their right to vote. And so I started thinking about three different things. The first is method of communication. When you think about a politician, number one, you know, I know the joke is, when do you know a politician is lying? Whenever their mouth's moving. And that's been around for a long time. But people feel like, number one, that politicians just straight out lie. And if they don't lie, they're misleading. They'll say things that are technically true, but not actually true. Or another way that politicians communicate is by simply, you know, not saying anything at all, withholding their opinions, and just keeping quiet. That way they don't disenfranchise anyone, but no one really knows what they stand for. And finally, the last thing I know that people hate about politicians are, a lot of times they just want to distract. And so instead of really talking about the things that are important to the people in their district or in their area, they'll just throw out red meat constantly. Just throw out things that may be, you know, it may be a federal or national issue when they're actually running for a state office, but just to keep people upset and angry and fearful. And so, you know, that gets weary after a while. And so sometimes people just say, I'm tuning it out, I'm done. And so I just want to let you guys know that, you know, not everyone has to conduct themselves like a politician once they get elected to, you know, in an elected office. And when I think about a political leader, what I think about is that we're talking about people who are upfront and honest, who are willing to actually tell you what they believe, why they believe it. But the flip side of that is that they're also they're good listeners. And it's okay to change your mind sometimes. And that's how we grow. And so I don't look at that as flip-flopping. I think that to be, you know, in an elected position, you should be listening more than you're talking. But again, that honest dialogue is so important. And that's how you gain trust of people in your community and people that you are represented to, that you're elected to represent. And I also think it's really important to try to use all platforms to, you know, make sure that you are there and you're willing to talk where people are and where they're at. And you go to meetings, and you go to monthly meetings, and you get on the radio talk show, and you take questions from people. And again, that you just constantly have this open dialogue where we can talk about about what's important, because we're not going to agree on everything. But if somebody is honest and open, it does create that trust where you know that no matter what they do, they're doing it in the best interest of the people that they represent. And I feel like with this campaign that, I have ran a very transparent, very open, very honest, clean campaign. And there have been opportunities for me to certain things have happened that weren't on the up and up all the time, and I could have jumped in on that and mudsling and things like that, and I haven't, because I wanted to always be positive and to be honest and run on why am I the best candidate for this position. I feel like that I've been available. I've answered questions that a lot of seasoned politicians would have said for me to avoid and not even to answer. One of those being, what do I think about guns when I don't own any guns? And a lot of people would have told me to stay away from that and dodge it, but I didn't. I talked about how that's not my way of life, but it doesn't mean that I'm not a supporter of the Second Amendment, and that as long as we take it upon ourselves to pass down to our children and to each other how to be safe gun owners, I think that that's a huge part of our community and our family traditions in this county. And it's not an issue for me. It's not something that I think is one of the top issues that we need to be worrying about. There's so many other things that we need to be addressing. And I've been on the radio. I've been interviewed live. I've been every week talking with you guys. And so again, I feel like that's what people want out of their elected officials. They want people who are available, who are open, and who will listen and also have those tough conversations. The second reason that I feel like people do not trust politicians is because they don't really know where their loyalties lie. A lot of times you hear people talking about, well, people, they've been bought out by the lobbyists, and they answer to big tobacco, or they answer to all kinds of different groups, the NRA or whatever. And so sometimes people just don't trust politicians because, again, they don't know where their money's coming from. And since people are constantly, politicians, and that's another thing about communication, a lot of people will just constantly weigh what they're saying on how that's going to affect their next reelection. Again, when people take lots of big money from lobbyists and different groups, then you're saying, do they represent me, or do they represent who's been footing the bill for their reelection and for their campaign? And that's aggravating, and it makes people, it sows this distrust of politicians. Another thing is, it may not be that their loyalties are to who's funding their campaign, but we see politicians who their loyalty is to their party, and they toe that party line no matter what. And you see that in the Democratic Party, you see that in the Republican Party, where it doesn't matter what their constituents think, it doesn't matter what the people that elected them to go and represent them believe. It's whatever that party line is, that's how they're going to vote every single time. And again, that has caused people to be disenfranchised and think my vote doesn't matter, because they're just going to do whatever the party platform tells them to do. What do we really want? We want people that are going to put their constituents first. And we want people who are going to be independent thinkers who, yes, if I'm a Democrat, I'm probably going to agree with a lot of the things on the Democratic platform, but it doesn't mean I agree with it 100%. And I feel like the community deserves somebody in Frankfort who is not just going to vote party line over and over and over again. So that they're going to listen to their constituents, and there will be times when they have to stand up and say, I'm not going to vote with my party. I feel like that, from what I've demonstrated so far in this campaign, that you can trust that I'm going to be that kind of leader, that I'm going to be someone who stands up for the people of Meade County and what's best for our community. And if that lines up with the Democratic Party, fantastic. But if it doesn't, then I have no trouble standing on my own. And again, I am going to be there solely to represent Meade County and what our families need and what our businesses need and what the people of Meade County need, not the Democratic Party. And then finally, One reason people don't trust politicians, I believe, is because they don't trust why the person got into politics in the first place. A lot of people get into politics to do nothing but just to line their own pockets, to financially for personal gain, or they are doing it just for power, so because they like that sense of having that power. And many people also get into politics just because they just it's a stepping stone to and their sights are always on the next office, the higher office, so that they can gain again more notoriety, more power. And that's not what we need in our elected officials. What we need are people, and I don't care if this is the local, at the state level, or if it's at the national level. We need people who are running because they want to serve their communities. They want to represent the people, and they want to to do their best in whatever level they're running. They want to do their best to improve their communities and make sure that they are constantly opening doors of opportunity for more and more people and removing barriers. And if I am elected, I hope that you guys can trust that I'm not doing it for personal gain. I've told you before, I have no intentions to be a career politician. I just know that it is critical right now. Our state is going to be facing so many important decisions. We are at a critical phase right now for public education in our state and across our nation. Are we going to support public education, or are we going to go down that road of privatization? And so that's critical right now. We're in a very critical state right now when it comes to healthcare. Are we going to actually work to make sure that every American, every Kentuckian has access to quality health care? And then finally, we're in the middle of a pandemic. And so it's going to be so important, the next people that we elect, that are going to help Kentucky to plan and plot a course for us to recover from this pandemic, recover financially, and it's going to make and again, these things are so important. And so that's why I feel like that we're at a really critical time in our state. And if I am elected, I hope that that you can trust that I'm going to always have what's best for District 27 and what's best for Kentucky in mind. And it's not going to be for any type of personal gain. I ran across when I was looking and trying to decide what I wanted to talk about, I ran across a quote, and it kind of was, again, it spurred me into our topic tonight. And the quote that I ran across was from Franklin D. Roosevelt, and he said, "The future lies with those wise political leaders who realize that the great public is interested more in government than in politics." And I feel like that's where we are as a nation right now. I think we're done with the classic politician, and we're looking for true leaders. And I hope that I have convinced enough people in District 27 that I will be that type of leader, and that I will be someone who is looking to, again, do nothing but better our community and open up opportunities for everyone to have a piece of that American dream. Let me see if we had anything else. Let's see if we have any comments. I have Camille that finally made live tonight. So welcome, Camille. And let me see if we had anything else we wanted to talk about tonight. Let's see. I think that that's it. So if no one has any questions, I am extremely excited about Tuesday. If I have one last thing to ask, I'm glad I didn't sign off yet. I do have one thing left. If you want to know what to do for me, here's what you can do these last couple days before the Tuesday primary. Share this video. Share this video on your Facebook. Talk to anyone that you know that has not voted yet, and if they are a Democrat and they can vote in the Democratic primary, then please just share with them why you're supporting me, and why you think that I would be the best person to represent District 27. So I know we're at the home stretch, but I do also feel that there's a lot of people in our community who are still waiting and are going to actually vote on Tuesday. So please use your influence in your little realm of the people, your coworkers, your friends, your family members, and just have those last few conversations. And that is the best thing that you can do to support this campaign as we approach our primary on Tuesday. I'm going to check and make sure we don't have any questions. I don't think we do. And again, if you ever do have any questions, you know where to find me. I'm happy to answer those. And I hope you all have a lovely evening, and keep our fingers crossed for good results on Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us.